must say, I do like the cover art and the poster for this movie. Freddy's back and a bloody good show too. 9 out of 10 from the Daily Star. You see that? Must have been on crack. I will say this. It's better than Dream Child and Freddy's Dead. But that's not saying much. Hey guys, how is it all going? So, thank you so much for joining me for what is the Nightmare on Elm Street remake from 2010 movie review. And before I get started into this review, give you a quick plot of the movie. It's the same as basically every other Elm Street movie. There's a group of kids, in this one in particular, are played by actors and actresses in their early 20s, who Freddy Krueger is taken out in their dreams one by one. It's as simple as that. Now, this came out during the period when there was a lot of horror movie remakes coming out, and I think this was much more at the back end of it. And there was a lot of horror movie remakes that I really didn't mind, to be honest with you. I really did enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one that came out in 2003. I absolutely love the Dawn of the Dead remake that came out in 2004 or 2005. I think it was 2005. I'm not too sure. It could be 2004, but I absolutely loved that. I loved the Hill of Eyes remake from 2006. Really enjoyed that movie. And there's been a couple more. Obviously, the one I reviewed before, the Friday the 13th remake. I really enjoyed that one. So there were some decent horror remakes coming out. But on the other scale, there was a lot of shit that came out. And I remember going to watch the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and I was really, really looking forward to it and had my fingers crossed that I'd really enjoy it. And I hated it. And I haven't watched it since, till I've done this review for you guys. And unfortunately, my opinion has not changed on this movie. I can't stand this movie. I hate it. I think this film is a massive pile of shite. Now, before I dive into my reason why it's a big pile of shit, I will give my positives as I always do. And I would say there's one big positive and there's another little one I'll give. So the big positive is Jackie Earle Haley. And I think that's how you pronounce his name. You know me with names now, guys. If I get it wrong, it's just the norm for me. It's always the way it is. But the new guy they got to play Freddy Krueger, I thought did a tremendous job in this movie. I like my Freddy Krueger. If you go back to all my other Elm Street review guys, you know I like my Freddy Krueger dark. And this guy is dark. And he has a couple of decent one-liners in this movie as well, and he delivers it quite well, and you know he is giving his all to this movie. He is really putting himself into the character, and I think does a really good job as being Freddy Krueger. I will even say this, and I have a feeling saying this is going to lose me subscribers. I actually think he does a better job as Freddy Krueger than what Robert Englund did from Part 4 upwards, not including New Nightmare. And I will stand by that, because I hated my Freddy being all cheesy and jokey all the time and not scary. Unleash this guy. You don't want to bump into this motherfucker in your dreams whatsoever. I mean, he does toy with his victims a little bit, but this Freddy Krueger would rather just kill you pretty much straight away, to be honest with you, instead of playing around with you. So I love my Freddy Krueger dark and twisted, and this is exactly what this Freddy is. The little other positive I will give, I do like the introduction to the micro-nap theory that they brought out in this movie. And I thought that was like a cool little touch and something that kind of well, I wouldn't say improved on the original. I think improved's the wrong idea. But it was a nice kind of thing to have introduced to this movie. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you try and stay awake for as long as you can. Your body, your mind is going to shut down at some point to kind of regenerate itself, replenish itself. And Freddy Krueger is going to be there waiting for you. You cannot escape this guy. I mean, that's how terrifying a character Freddy Krueger is. You just, eventually, he will get to you. So I did like the introduction of the micro naps. I thought it was a nice touch. That being said, my negatives is everything else with the movie. The characters down to the acting is just bad. It is. It's bad. I'm sorry. It just is. The characters are so fucking annoying. And also, what I always find strange in these movies is how quick these characters can just like fall asleep. I am so jealous. I wish I could just fall asleep like these people. I would love that. It takes me about half an hour of TikTok, half an hour YouTube, and probably an hour just rolling around the bed everywhere trying to get comfy before I even get like a half an hour nap. These people are just falling asleep on a whim at a desk or in a library or just gone fast asleep. And I'm like, man, I wish I had that skill. I really do wish I had that skill. Yeah, it's very generic. And they try redoing shots and scenes that are plucked literally straight out of the original movie that were done far, far, far better in 1984. And they try to replicate it now. And you're like, why? Do your own thing. Don't just copy, lift straight up from the original and try doing it yourself, because it looks shite and it's lazy. It's massively lazy filmmaking. Come up with something unique and different. We have seen this before and seen it done far better in a far better movie. Don't insult us. You know what I mean? So that pisses me off. And also, they introduce like a plot in this movie that potentially Freddy Krueger could have been innocent. Now, I wish they stuck with that, because at least it's something new. It's something different. And it probably would have worked for the movie, I think. Because even if you're watching this movie, you know for a fact that Freddy Krueger was not innocent. You know that for a fact. And I thought they might have pulled the rug from under us if they would have stuck to landing on that and it actually made out, you know what, the kids lied. He was innocent, he didn't do anything. I would have liked that, I'm not going to lie. I would have gone, yeah, okay, at least they've done something different. It probably wouldn't have worked for a lot of other people, but it would have worked for me, I think. But they just tossed that aside to the point where they find out, yeah, you know, he did actually do these things to the kids and he is evil. And it's like, well, why introduce that in the first place if you're not going to, like, use it? It doesn't make any sense. Like, they should have just stuck to landing on it. I think I probably would have respected them more if they did. And also, my biggest gripe with this movie is, we are supposed to believe that these characters, when they've just grown up like a little bit, I think they're supposed to be like 17, 18 or something now, aren't they, or whatever. They've supposed to have completely forgotten what happened to them in like the little school when they were kids. Completely forgot. So everything that happened with Freddy Krueger, they are supposed to have completely just wiped it from their memories. No, I am not buying that in the slightest. I remember every little childhood traumatic trauma that I had. I still remember that now. You know what I mean? Okay, it was nowhere near the level that what happened to these kids in these movies, granted, but you don't just wipe shit like that from your memory. That's not how it works. It just doesn't happen that way. And we're supposed to buy that these kids or young adults or whatever have generally forgot everything that happened to them, forgot that they even knew each other from this school. It's just so dumb. Like, it just makes no sense. And no, while I'm ranting on this movie, that's not my biggest bugbear of the movie at all. It actually isn't. while I'm while I've been chatting and thinking about it, the fucking jump scares in this movie. Oh my god. Oh. Now, listen, I don't mind a jump scare if they're used well. If there's not many of them, I don't mind one or two in the movie. I actually don't mind a jump scare when something is actually going to happen after it. Not this movie. It's like every 15 minutes, jump scare. Freddy's head just turns quick, jump scare. Freddy just pops up, jump scare. It's just so lazy. And it's not scary. That does not make a movie scary. Just having a loud noise and something jump at you, even if it makes the audience jump, doesn't mean you're scary. Fucking winds me up in these horror movies when they just use that over and over and over again. And it's like, fuck off with your cheap jump scares, you untalented fucks. Yeah. Anywho, like I say, I'm not a fan of the remake at all. But I do think Jackie Haley, whatever his last name is, I don't know. I think he did a tremendous job and he deserved better, to be honest with you, with the material that he got. There's no surprise we haven't had any more since this one. I'm sure we are going to have a Elm Street movie coming up at some point. It will happen. And they're going to cast a new Freddy Krueger, obviously. And I hope whoever they do does a great job. I would like to see a good Elm Street movie again. I really would. It's been a while. But I do think, overall, I do think the remake is better than some of the other Elm Street movies. But I think I'm only really saying that because the other Elm Street movies that I've reviewed are more fresh in my mind. So I favour the remake a little bit over the ones where Freddy wasn't as dark and the material wasn't as dark. Because, like I say, as you already know, I like a darker Freddy Krueger. But that is not saying much at all. So I am going to give A Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I'll give it a 0.5 out of 5. So, guys, are you a fan of the remake? Do you actually really like it? Do you prefer it to the other Elm Street movies? Do you dislike it as much as I do? Whatever it is, guys, please leave a comment below. It is absolutely always a pleasure hearing from you. And, as always, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you again real soon. Take care, guys. Goodbye now.